Blue Collar Nation, today I want to talk and dive into something that recently came into my repertoire called the Silver Tsunami. So if you have not heard of the Silver Tsunami, here are some fun facts. And I think it's going to be interesting how it impacts Blue Collar Nation, blue collar founders out there, and especially our baby boomer generation who's going to be retiring very soon. So here are some fun facts around the Silver Tsunami. First, by 2030, so 6 years away, and I know in this world there's a lot of stuff around 2030, right? By 2030, the entire baby boomer generation will have retired. Wow. So that's going to shift an entire generational age gap and heavy put the population on one side. So now the majority of our population is retired, at least outweighing other generational names, right? Like millennials and different things. So that's going to totally tip the scale. So imagine that. Secondly, 40% of small businesses are owned by baby boomers. I think that is amazing, incredible that a generation like our baby boomers right now owns 40% of small business. I think that is awesome. But on the other hand, 40% of business founders, blue collar founders, business owners are going to be retiring, or at least of retirement age, in the next 6 years. Lots going to be happening in this space, and it's time to get ahead of it right now. 3, less than a third of small business owners have an exit plan. All right, so we got some big numbers retiring in the next 6 years. We got a large majority of those as business owners. And we got 33% or a third of those founders who don't have an exit plan. I can talk from experience. I know founders who simply are going to wake up, turn the lights off, close the door, lock it, peace out, sayonara. That's their business. And they're done. They're retiring. And it's a good business. It has employees. It has cash flows, profitable. They just don't know what to do. So today we're going to dive into that much more. Here's the fourth and final fun fact around the Silver Tsunami that's coming in. A quarter of small business owners express an interest in transferring their business to their employees or to a business partner. All right. So today I'm going to share with you 5 plus 4 ways that we as blue collar founders, we as baby boomer owners can exit our business. All right. So number 1, you could sell your business, right? That's a traditional thing that people know how to do. They know how to sell. So when you sell, there are brokers out there. You can call a broker and you can say, hey, broker, I want to sell my business. And they'll list it, or they'll try to find you a buyer, and they'll do the hard work. I've exited 2 businesses. In both cases, the first business, people came into us to try to buy. So we had a private equity company looking at us, and we had a strategic buyer, which is someone from our industry who was looking to acquire our business. So we ran a process between the private equity company and the strategic buyer. Now, I didn't know what I was doing. I was up against very sophisticated private equity folks. They're professional deal people. I did not know what to do. But hey, blue collar founder, you've got grit, you've got tenacity, you're smart, you know how to do it, you can figure it out. And I did as well. And it's hard, and it's your baby. And that's the emotional side of exiting a business, is that you are now selling your baby, or at least I was selling my baby, and it was really, really, really hard. And hard to detach from the emotional side, because when the other side, the buyer, is calling your baby ugly or pieces of your baby ugly, you get emotional. I remember shaking, visibly shaking on top of the table, and I had to take my hands under the table because I was like, oh, I was so frustrated. So there are ways to sell your business. Brokers help. I've never used one, but they are there, and they are very, very talented at running a process and knowing how to do that. Now, the second thing you can do is you can try to give it to your family. Now, nowadays, we've acquired businesses where the founder just simply, their family didn't want it. They thought they would, and they built a great business that they were going to hand to their kids. But the kids were like, yeah, peace out. I've got this. It's too hard. I don't want to do that kind of work. Blue collar work is hard. I don't want to do it. So that typically rules out the family. If you've got a family member who wants to become an entrepreneur, boom, awesome. Now you've got someone you can turn the business to, train them, guide them. I've done some videos on how you have to think about that, because it does take some level of systematizing the business, putting in the right I call them playbooks, not processes or procedures. I hate those words, but playbooks, and also educating a new up and coming generation that thinks a little bit different than we do. All right, so that's the second one. Third one we can do is we can merge our business with someone else. I think personally there's an interesting opportunity in the world today to take a lot of small businesses. I don't have it quite in my mind yet how to do this. Take a bunch of small businesses, combine them up together, share back office, share administration, share the same marketing tactics, and use the competencies of the founder to expand that business. So there are ways you could merge with someone in your. I know I've got a buddy in the extermination business or the bug business, and they're buying up a bunch of small businesses now because they'll just take them up, all similar businesses. They'll combine the administration, they'll combine the marketing, the sales, and they'll crush it. And so there are ways to take your business and merge it with someone else. And hey, look, that's simple. You simply pick up the phone and you call or email some of these companies. They want to talk to you. So there's nothing wrong with that. And you've got all the leverage. Just know that you've got the leverage. All right, you can liquidate it. I hate this option. Getting rid of the business, sell the assets. There are places for this. I just think there are ways to avoid this because blue collar businesses, the assets, the equipment is usually just stuff, and you're not going to get the value of the hard work that you put into it. So just know that's an option, not one that I like. Gradual retirement. So this one is fun because you start to step away from the business, but you standardize how the business is ran and you start to give up some control to other people. So you get out of the way and you let them build, grow, scale the business outside of your daily involvement. Step away, see how it goes, find the voids, find the gaps, and start to fill in the holes where you see that aren't done the way you want to do them. Now, that may mean you have to step up. That may mean you have to trust your people. That may mean you have to rely on others, and that's sometimes hard, but it is an option to get away from the business. Hiring management. This one is interesting because instead of exiting the business, you simply hire someone to come and do your job. Now, is that good, bad, or ugly? I don't know. My very first venture, we were in year 4, almost year 5, and I was a founder. My co-founder was with me. He was more technology, sales related, entrepreneurial. I was more sales, had some engineering background, but also entrepreneurial. We were actually going to hire a CEO to come in because running a business and scaling a growing business is stupid hard. So we were going to hire a CEO, and that was right before we exited the business. You're not required to do it all. That's the thing that I think many founders, especially in the blue collar sector, get trapped into. I'm supposed to do it all. Well, no, you're not. You don't have to do it all. You can rely on others to grow and scale your business. So if you love to do a certain piece of the business, do that piece, but hire out the stuff that you don't love. That gives you time freedom. Now you can step away and do what you love, but hire out the rest. I personally love that strategy. That's what I do right now. When I don't like doing a certain task, I find somebody who does love it. And when you find those ninjas that love that piece of the business, it is mind-blowing how awesome it is because now you don't have the burden. You get to stay in your lane, focus on what you love, and you got these amazing people doing what they love. And by the way, that's impact on them because now they're doing what they love. They find it to be a blessing to them. You find it to be a better blessing for you. Win, win, win. So I love that approach. Leasing the business. So this is number 8 of 9. I've never done this. So I did a little research on this, but basically you lease the business to another entrepreneur. Okay. So you retain ownership and you retain ownership of the assets while you're receiving regular income. So I'm going to explore this one more because I think this could be interesting for the Silver Tsunami baby boomer population in the blue collar space. That's a whole lot of acronyms. Leasing the business. If you're running a business and you think you might want to lease a business, reach out. Let's talk about that because that's something we can maybe explore together. Never done it, but I think it would be really cool to think. If you have done it and you're watching this video, comment below, because I'm a student of the game, as well as, been down this rodeo for a long time, but let's continue to talk about it and learn. Finally, partnership or investor buyout. So these are where this is basically when you can sell your business. Seller notes are interesting for this. Seller financing is interesting for this. Find a young whippersnapper. I love to do this, by the way, who comes in and takes your business and runs it, grows it, scales it. You stay involved, because that's important. I know in any business, my biggest regrets are not keeping the founder on longer. The founder built the business. It was his baby. He understands the market. He's put in the time. He can rapidly accelerate anything you're looking to do. And so if you're looking to find a way to step away from the business and you want to bring in another investor, a young whippersnapper, to help you maintain it and grow it, reach out. That's stuff that we love to do and love to talk about, especially part of our Blacksmith Ventures campaign. Final one, and I missed this, was employee ownership. So these are like, think of it like an ESOP, employee stock ownership program. I've seen big businesses who do this very successfully, but what it does is when an employee, and I've seen this throughout my entire career, when an employee who works for a founder sees success in the founder, the employee now smells meat, and they want to become an entrepreneur because they see how easy it was for you, even though it was stupid hard and very difficult to do. You know that, but not everybody sees that because they're not thinking about the business 24/7 and in the mix every single day, worried about cash, worried about all this other stuff. It looks sexy. So you create entrepreneurs behind you. And the problem with employees is they oftentimes don't want to put their own money up because that's risky. That's what separates us and an employee, right? So find a way to bridge that gap. ESOPs do that, and it gives the employees the ability to own a company which they work in. It's a win-win for them because they love it. They now reap profits and they're able to grow. I'll tell you one, this wasn't on my list, but this is something interesting for recruiters who are out there. I'm working with a client and they are a recruiter and they're looking to retain good employees in the future. This is a model similar to what law firms do, where you make them a partner. So you bring on someone in your business and you turn them into a partner, and you give them some profit sharing to take over responsibility for what you're doing. Now, I would suggest you still stay on and do a little bit of your work that you love to do, because every founder has a superpower. Just focus on that. Everything that sucks, take it away. Throw it away. Just don't do it anymore, because life is too short. It's not worth it. All right, friends, I hope this was helpful. If you are a 55-year-old or above business owner, I salute you. Way to be in the game. If you see this silver tsunami coming, or if you're in it and you don't know how to navigate around it, let's have that conversation, because I love this stuff. My name is Andy Smith. If we haven't met, I've built and exited multiple businesses, sold to private equity companies, sold to strategic buyers, built and scaled multiple businesses, failed, learned, still growing, still learning. Love this game, love blue collar industry, and love blue collar founders like you. So thank you for everything you're doing. Blue collar strong through and through. Peace out. I'll see you on the next video. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you give a subscribe, a like, a comment would be helpful, and see you on the other side, friends. Take care.